We're two best friends watching every single Adam Sandler film ever made, and we're currently 66% of the way through.
Today, we're tier listing every single film we've watched so far. Last time, this is where we left our rankings off. Link to that video in the description.
And I think they look pretty good. Let's add number 13 to the pile. I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry.
I now pronounce you Chuck and Larry is an F.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to go give that grace. We had a lot of comments that were very mad at us being wokies.
You mean like it? No, I mean, yeah.
And not seeing the true meaning behind this film, but you can have good intentions and still just deliver something poorly, and I think that this movie was a case of that, right?
Yeah, at the end of the day, no matter what we criticized it for, it was not an enjoyable film to watch, and I could not put it in C tier with The Cobbler and Murder Mystery.
You're right.
I think it's right at home with Sandy Wexler and Going Overboard.
Yeah, they're all best friends out there. To the next one we watched, Hubie Halloween.
Hubie with an H.
I loved it, you hated it. You gave it a 3 for memory, I gave it a 7.
I just think it has no soul in it. There is no like original kind of, it's not adding anything to the world. It's just more fluff. Like it's fun.
Yes.
There's nothing to it.
Here's what I'll say to that.
Okay.
The other night, I'm tired. I've watched everything there's to watch on YouTube. I needed something for my brain to zone out to have it on the background as I doom scrolled, right? And I think that's where Adam Sandler sometimes really falls into that category of Hubie Halloween is a perfect background film. And so for that, contextualizing it as a background film, I think it's a fine 7.
But you could have easily subbed it out for lo-fi beats to study to. Like when you're talking about movies
something slightly titillating,
have a place in the world. I mean, I'd put it in a C tier.
I'm happy to concur on C.
Thank you.
C's fine.
All right.
I'm fine with
I
the
can
C.
rest easy tonight.
I had fun. I had fun with Hubie.
Right next to Pixels, huh?
You know, Pixels has grown on me
Oh,
since we last reviewed it. I think I'd go back and watch Pixels.
The next film we watched was Click. And hey, wasn't that a wonderful movie?
Click was great. Not as great as Child Me remembered it to be, but still a very, very good film. I'd say it's in his top films, for sure. Christopher Walken's always such a delight.
Hey, get out of here.
Yeah, I've thought about Click a lot since watching it. I would comfortably put it in A.
Yeah, next to Spaceman and Hustle.
I wouldn't put it in S, because it wasn't a full knockout for me, and it definitely wasn't for you, but I wouldn't feel comfortable putting in a B, Mac.
I don't think it's a B. I think, I think we're very right in saying A. And I think it's probably the first film that's a bit goofier of Sandler's to be inducted into the A territory, which I'm fine with.
But it's the one that people like, oh, that's deep. Like Click is a good classic to watch because it is deep and makes you feel things.
It's the everyman's deep Sandler film. Because most people don't realize that Sandler's done things like Punch Drunk Love, Reign Over Me, Mayit Stories, Hustle.
That's true. Hey, let's chuck it in.
Our next film was Bulletproof.
Hey, Bulletproof's not bad, all right? You think it's terrible, I think it's about as good as Spanglish.
Why you wanna go to Disneyland, man? Disneyland.
Bulletproof for me was a 3 and for you a 6, which is rare that we have such a discrepancy. I would never watch Bulletproof again in my life, and I think that's a very comfortable way of putting it in such a low ranking.
See, to me, Bulletproof is one that I would rather put on while doom scrolling because you can look up and there's like, whoa, there's crazy crash fun, rather than just like a deflated, like dopey kind of watch. It's like, no, put something fun on that doesn't like make any sense.
I hear what you're saying. I just feel like Bulletproof had what The Room kind of had, in that The Room was trying to be a serious piece, but that's what was its undoing. And I feel like with Bulletproof,
The Room's one of the most popular films of all time now.
I think they're eating fajitas.
All I'm saying is I think the Bulletproof took itself too seriously, and because of that it came across stupid cringe. Like really cringe. Speak to me about what's in B currently.
B has funny people and grown-ups.
Dude, there is no way that it lives with grown-ups and funny people.
Okay, all right, I'm happy to concede and give it C. But it is a bit crazy, but I go watch Bulletproof and form your own opinion.
Or don't, please don't actually.
The next one's possibly contentious as well, Billy Madison, where I was not shrouded in nostalgia, and Mac was.
I gave it a 7, Joel gave it a 4, which is actually fair. Looking back on it, it's fair. It was very random. It was very almost sketch show.
Today, Junior?
And I'm not sure that always landed. And it was very carefree with a lot of the bits it did, when maybe to a fault, I would say, trying to remember it now.
It was just experimental. It felt like a young Adam Sandler throwing shit at the wall to see what stuck.
Which he was, yeah.
He was absolutely young, and you do see him finding his voice. Unfortunately, kind of ran with some things further in his career than he probably should have. There's definitely some good elements that he didn't keep in his career, but he loves the romance. He loves a romance plot.
He does. It had all the seeds, all the bingo squares were right there in his second film, As much as it's a cult classic and this will annoy people, I'm happy to give it a C. I don't think it was a B, even though I gave it a higher rating. I think when I gave it that high 7 rating, I was mostly just scared of people clapping back at me online. Since then, I've had so much hate online in other realms that I'm actually fine for people to be angry at me. So I'm happy to give it a C. Hey, that's personal development, brother. I'm proud of you for that.
You happy with a C?
I thought I was gonna have to fight you and not put it in A. I was gonna concede for a B, but C's great, brother. Let's chuck it right there.
Not a contentious film, a piece of garbage. Grown Ups 2, we both gave, funnily enough,
a 2. Hey, so straight to the F tier with that piece of shit,
yeah, wow. Grown Ups 2 just really didn't understand why Grown Ups 1 worked, which is so weird.
Not at all.
Because it was a simple formula. It wasn't like they did something that was out of pocket and beautifully masterful. It was so simplistic but wonderful, and they just didn't even bother to try and replicate it in the right ways, but they tried to replicate all the shit bits.
Yeah, it was just a compilation of just that, literally just rolling the cameras and them hanging out and being like, oh, what if we rolled a tire down a hill and then he vomited everywhere?
Oh, we should probably throw Nick Swartzen against the wall again.
There's a raft in there?
Yeah,
that
14 times. Yeah, that'd be great. So it's an F.
Oh, if there was something beyond F, I'd be happy to give it. This is such a deeper F than the other Fs.
Yeah.
It lives in Sandy Wexler territory. Sandy Wexler should almost have its own category.
I feel like they're all in their own brand of ick. Like they all deserve like double or triple Fs or something.
Up next, The Waterboy.
What a pleasant surprise The Waterboy was. I've thought fondly of The Waterboy since. I know it's not liked by a lot of people looking back nowadays, but it's loved by many. I'm steering more towards love, like just the core message and the feeling that the film is trying to formulate and bring, I think trumps some of its ick.
Remember when Bobby Boucher showed up at halftime and the Mud Dogs won the Bourbon Bowl, do you?
I'm happy to chuck it up in A, where I believe that you would think it belongs.
I absolutely think The Waterboy would be up in A tier. It had all the makings to be a really gross Adam Sandler film, but they just nailed it. They nailed the comedy, they nailed the belittling a guy without making it so cringeworthy that you just want to crawl up inside your own skin like a turtle. They nailed it. I really liked Waterboy. I think it was one of my favorites as a kid, and it's still my favorites today.
Yeah, H2O, brother, A tier.
H2O.
Next up, we got Spanglish.
I really liked Spanglish. I gave it a 7, you gave it a 6. I thought Spanglish was really solid.
It's good, yeah. I've rewatched the sandwich scene a bunch now, and I can't believe we didn't bring up the sandwich scene.
He makes a beautiful sandwich he doesn't get to eat.
And there's so many people who've come up to Adam Sandler who've been like, I tried to make the sandwich in Spanglish, but just couldn't. I just couldn't get it to be as good as you made it. And Adam Sandler's like, yeah, well, you know, they're not always my hands in the shot, you know? Like, I knew it. I knew there was a chef.
Obviously, it wasn't Sandler cooking. It was good. It was long film.
Yeah, in the context of a Sandler film, like it wasn't so much of what we're used to, but a really beautiful story nonetheless.
Yeah.
I'm happy to give the B tier a friend. I'm not sure it belongs in the A.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. It was good, but not remarkable. I think his rom-com potential peaks at The Wedding Singer. I don't think it'll ever get much better than The Wedding Singer, but this was a really nice offering to the world because it was trying to do something.
Yes, not that this was the same kind of film as The Wedding Singer.
No, true.
I think it's a nice memory, a nice sentiment that it leaves you with, but I can't see myself ever watching it again.
Yeah, I'm happy with a B.
All right, wonderful.
Up next was The Do-Over. Oh man, did this movie stink. I didn't even know why I gave it a 3. I think I was just being polite.
Yeah, this was not a likable film at all. I think about it with hate in my heart.
Yeah.
I lie awake at night imagining David Spade in a threesome.
It's funny because I watched this movie. I watched it like way before we started doing this review series, and I didn't remember hating it.
Right.
Whereas now watching it back again, I guess it's that classic case of Adam Sandler films where some of them just don't live under any microscope. They just don't live up to that kind of scrutiny. And this was one of them where the plot was average, the characters introduced were average, the twists were average.
It's convoluted as well.
Really convoluted. Sandy Wexler level convoluted.
But it's just gross, like the jokes were not good. Yeah, I think we had a big rant in our review of like, Sandler has daughters and they're gonna watch this. What are they supposed to think of themselves as a woman in the world?
Yeah, very content with an F here.
Yeah, me too. Which leads us to Big Daddy, brother.
Big Daddy, I gave a 10. You gave a shocking 6. Do you think you would take back your 6?
Which averages out to about an A.
But what about your 6?
Yeah, I'm happy to sit on a 6, brother. It's fine with me.
Can you rehash for me why you didn't like Big Daddy?
It's not that I didn't like Big Daddy, I just think it's fine. It's fun. It just kind of, trods along and it's Big Daddy. There's no remarkable, grandiose ending like, say, The Waterboy. There's not crazy, deep themes that we find in something like Funny People. I just think it's a fun, like, jaunt of a film. Like, it's got good bits. It's just got a great flow. It's what we think that modern Sandlers are trying to replicate is films like Big Daddy. I hold The Waterboy on a pedestal as, like, what Adam Sandler classics could be and how great they could be like that.
Yeah, comedy classics,
I just don't think Big Daddy was totally that.
I completely disagree, seeing as I gave it a 10. I do think that in the realm of Sandler's family-friendly comedy, this was a really, really beautiful offering to that little genre that he's carved out for himself. I think it was sweet. I think the casting was pretty fun. There wasn't too many bits that were too dated, and this is quite an old film.
Yeah, it's pro-gay, even.
Yeah, that's got to give it an extra 4 points to get it to a 10, right?
You can't. You gave it a 10, I gave it a 6, and you want it to be an S tier. It doesn't make any sense, brother.
I just think that it lives up there as one of my favorite Sandler films, and not much gets better than this. So for me, it's going to be hard to put it in A tier, but I guess with your 6 at play, I guess it is an A.
I don't think you could put it above The Waterboy. I just flat out disagree with that.
Then I guess we put it next to The Waterboy.
We do. The next film we watched was Blended.
You couldn't pay me enough money to watch this again.
Sandler and Barrymore's third collaboration and the best one yet, right, man?
Oh man, it stunk.
It's really bad.
And it had a plot that was actually something that could be good. Probably not great. I think the highest that this would ever get for me if it was written well would still probably be around a 6.
Yeah.
But everything about it was so classic. When Sandler does a film wrong, it's him trying to cram bits in that are unnecessary to a plot line that could be really wholesome, and it almost feels like studio intervention. Like, hey man, we actually budgeted this to be a comedy, so we're gonna have to revise the script and throw in Terry Crews singing every act.
I'm just yawning thinking about it. There's just no life in it. Like, it's just sucked dry of any substance.
I hope Sandler learns with his comedy films just to stop shoehorning bits in. Because they're just always unnecessary. And there's so many that come to mind, but F.
Chuck it an F. And lastly, we have our most recent watch, which was the Mayit Stories, new and selected, which I frankly loved.
Yeah.
Mayit is so good.
A 9 from you, sir.
A 9 indeed.
I gave it an 8.
I'm so happy I would put this in S. Like, this is some of the best dramatic Sandler we're gonna get. And just like one of the best actual real films, they've utilized Sandler because they know he can do this role and do it well and taken a chance on him, and he smashes it.
This was a film. This is an Adam Sandler one that you could say, hey, trust me, this is actually quite good, and watch with people. They look at you and go, you're crazy, but then realize, whoa, this guy's onto something.
Yeah.
You might actually have something in your brain working. I loved it. It was hard for me to watch, but it was a brilliant watch nonetheless. I think it is very deserving of an S because
yes!
it is a piece of cinema.
Yes!
It's a piece of absolute cinema.
Let's go! Well, thank you for doing this with me, best friend.
Pleasure, best friend.
We've done 24 out of the 36 we're doing, so keep watching along and you'll see the finale of this tier list in about 4 years when we, no, it'll be way sooner than that.
But hey, check out our Adam Sandler reviews we do in full. We've got a whole playlist for you. Go check it out.
Please. But most importantly, make sure you tell someone you love them today.
Bye.
Bye.